On a quiet suburban street in Frederick, Colorado, a camera captured the last moments of a woman's life. To the world, the Watts family was the embodiment of the American dream. But within hours, that dream would dissolve into one of the most chilling cases of family annihilation in history. By the time police arrived, the house was quiet. Not the kind of quiet that feels peaceful, but the kind that makes you stop and listen, just to be sure you're not missing something. The front door opened without force. No broken locks. No shattered glass. Inside, everything looked exactly as it should. A handbag rested near the entryway. Shoes were still by the door. The phone, left behind. And yet, the pregnant woman and her 2 young daughters were gone.
How you guys doing?
Brother?
What's that?
Do you remember me?
Yeah.
Hey man, Ben.
How you been?
Hi.
You Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
All right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9. And I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls. And she was very distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking. And we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant. Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today.
Okay.
Because I called him and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since she left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are by the front door.
She only has one vehicle?
No, they only have the one vehicle and his work truck.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. There's not a...
The girls and went on a play date, but they're 4 and 2. She went on a play date. Why wouldn't she take in a car? They're both in car seats. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9 and she didn't go to the doctor's appointment.
Okay. No answer on the phone. Husband's on his way.
Supposedly, but he said that 30 minutes ago when I called him again and he said he was 45 minutes out still. And I know the code to the door.
You do?
I do, but there's a thing on it. There's a... No, it'll... Even Chris knows you can do it. There's a... They have the thing flipped up here.
Oh. What about the garage door?
I don't
Is
know.
there...
The alarm goes off.
Do you mind calling him and seeing if we can get a passcode to this and get me permission to go in?
Okay.
I'm just gonna check the back, see if I can see anything.
There's no way to get in.
Right. I just want to look in all the windows, make sure I don't see anything out of. Do they?
Doesn't work on the outside.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yeah, so they're gonna have tarp on that one and tarp on the one over there too. At least they should have one.
No note. No sign of struggle. No indication that anyone had left in a hurry. Just absence. The kind of absence that doesn't make sense. Because people don't just walk away from their lives like this. Not without taking something. Not without telling someone. And definitely not a mother like Shanann Watts. Within hours, what started as a welfare check in Frederick, Colorado, became something else. A missing persons case. And then something far more serious. Because as investigators began to piece things together, one detail stood out above all the rest. The last person known to have seen Shanann and her daughters alive was the man standing right there in the house. Her husband, Chris Watts. He spoke calmly. He answered questions. He even stood in front of cameras, asking for his family to come home. While Chris Watts stood on his porch, cracking jokes with neighbors, investigators were already noticing the cracks in his story.
Scott, how you doing?
How's it going?
So this is the only vehicle she would have?
Only one that, yeah.
She would drive? Okay. Chris, what time do you leave the day?
What time to leave there? Come
No, here.
Usually between 5:30 and 6.
Alright. And was Shannon here then?
Yes. Yeah, we're just going back.
Does she usually watch the kids, or do you have daycare watch them? Or?
She usually watches the kids if they're not at school.
Okay. You guys have any kind of issues, marital issues, or?
We're going through separation.
You are?
All the girls' blankies are gone. Their blankies they sleep with, they don't leave anywhere without them.
Okay.
On the nightstand next to her, so picked up, so it's here.
You just want to go talk to him? I'm going to get his info real quick. No.
Rocking back and forth. He never moves his stuff in and out of the garage ever.
Right.
To be completely honest with you, my wife and I were kind of wondering when she was on vacation if something happened, because I've heard them full out screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, and he gets crazy.
Does he? And that's pretty recently?
Yeah. He doesn't look worried. He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks. He's normally quiet, real subdued. He's over here telling you 3 times what he took out, what he did. He's very, he never talks. So the fact that he's over here blabbing his mouth makes me kind of suspicious. Yeah, we can pick up cars coming this way. I get anything coming this way and making a turn. So, and usually at night I pick up the car pulling a U-turn. So unless they pulled right here, but I would have caught her walking out.
Like when I got home yesterday, it was like a ghost town. Like she wasn't here, kids weren't here. I have no idea like where they went. Right now you got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent. If she wasn't here, like where did she go? Like once I got here, it was like, all right, who can I call? I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, you know, what's going on. Like if she's vanished, like I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad. Right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. Last night I wanted that knock on the door. I wanted to see those kids running just barrel rush me and just give me a hug and knock me on the ground. That's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it. I'm hoping that somebody sees something or somebody knows something and comes forward. Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
But as the hours passed, small details began to shift. Why was her car still in the garage? Why would a pregnant mother leave without her medication? And once those details were noticed, everything changed. Because this wasn't just the story of a missing family. This was the story of what happened inside a home where nothing seemed out of place, and how the truth was hiding in plain sight from the very beginning. To understand what happened, you have to understand who they were. Shanann Watts was not someone who lived quietly in the background. She documented her life openly. Videos, photos, posts, from birthday celebrations to everyday routines. She shared moments that showed her family as connected, active, and engaged. She was 34 years old in 2018, a mother of 2 young girls, and pregnant with a 3rd child, a boy they planned to name Nico. To the outside world, her life looked organized, structured. But behind that image, there were pressures building. Financial strain had been a part of the family's life. Public records show that the couple had previously filed for bankruptcy in 2015. Behind the bankruptcy and the thrive lifestyle was a man obsessed with a new beginning. He didn't want a divorce, he wanted a deletion. Even after that, there were ongoing concerns about expense, debts, and maintaining their lifestyle. And then there was the marriage. Chris Watts worked as an operator for an oil company in Colorado. He was known as quiet, reserved, someone who didn't say much, but rarely caused concern. To friends and neighbors, he seemed like a typical father. But in the months leading up to August 2018, something had changed. He had become distant, less engaged, less present, and according to messages later recovered, that distance was not imagined. During the summer of 2018, Chris Watts began a relationship with a coworker. A relationship that was kept hidden. Text messages between them revealed conversations about a future together. A different life. One that didn't include his current family. And while this was happening, Shanann Watts was noticing the change. She shared concerns with friends. She spoke about feeling a shift in the relationship. About conversations that didn't feel the same. About a distance she couldn't fully explain, but couldn't ignore either. Despite that, life continued. The children went to school. Daily routines carried on. And online, everything still looked normal. Which raises a question: how much of what we see actually reflects what's happening behind closed doors? August 12, 2018. Shanann Watts had been on a business trip in Arizona. That night, she returned home. It was late. Around 1:48 a.m., she was dropped off at her house by a friend. This moment was captured on a neighbor's security camera. The footage shows her walking toward the front door, carrying her bag, entering the house. Nothing unusual. Nothing that suggested what was about to happen. That was the last time she was seen alive. Inside the house, Chris Watts was there. Their daughters, Bella Watts and Celeste Watts, were asleep. From the outside, everything appeared normal. But according to later statements, the hours that followed would change everything. By morning, Shanann Watts had missed a scheduled doctor's appointment. She wasn't answering calls. She wasn't replying to messages. And for someone who was consistently active, this was immediately concerning. Her friend, who had dropped her off the night before, decided to check on her. When she couldn't reach her, she contacted authorities. And that decision set everything in motion. The first, investigators believed they were dealing with a missing persons case. But there was one detail they couldn't ignore. And once they focused on it, the entire investigation took a different direction. 'Cause sometimes, the truth isn't hidden far away. It's standing right in front of you. The first, it looked like a missing persons case. A mother and her children gone without explanation. But inside the house, there were too many things left behind. Shanann Watts's phone, still inside. Her purse untouched. Her medication still there. For investigators, this raised a critical question. If she left on her own, why didn't she take anything with her? And then, there was the timeline. Chris Watts told police he had left for work early that morning. He said everything was normal when he left. He said he had no idea where his family had gone. But when investigators began verifying that timeline, they found something that didn't match. A neighbor had a security camera, and that camera captured activity outside the Watts home in the early hours of August 13th. The footage showed Chris Watts backing his truck into the driveway. That alone might not seem unusual. But according to neighbors, this wasn't something he normally did. Investigators watched the footage carefully. And then, they watched something else. They watched Chris Watts. Watching the footage, there was a shift. Subtle, but noticeable. His posture changed. His breathing slowed. His responses became shorter. It wasn't proof of anything, but it was enough to raise suspicion. And once suspicion enters an investigation, every detail starts to matter. Then came the phone records, text messages, call logs, digital traces that couldn't be erased. And within those records, investigators discovered something important. Chris Watts had been involved in a relationship with a coworker. A relationship that had been hidden. A relationship that suggested he was already imagining a different life. One without his wife. One without his children. Now the case had changed. This was no longer just a disappearance. There was a possible motive. And the focus narrowed. On August 15, 2018, just 2 days after his family was reported missing, Chris Watts agreed to take a polygraph test. He said he wanted to help. He said he had nothing to hide. The test began. Simple questions. Direct answers. But when it ended, the result was clear.
Anyone else of your coworkers or anyone else out there?
Nope, that was the only one.
Would anyone else have seen you either on the way out there or out there when you were?
No. Like I said, I didn't stop anywhere. Like I knew
Did you wave to anyone? Did you, anything like that you can remember?
No.
I know it's early in the morning.
I didn't. I mean, I called a few people like while I was out there, but for some reason, like it like when you call somebody and it just says like connecting or whatever it's doing, and it doesn't like start to actually ring until the seconds start to come up, like 1, 2, 3.
Oh, right.
It just kept like said dialing or it's up for some
And who were
reason.
you trying to call while
I
you
was
were out
trying to call Cody Roberts, trying to call Troy and Chad.
And none of those went through?
No, they were trying to call me and said the number you have dialed cannot be completed as dialed or something like that.
Okay. Did you make any other phone calls?
That was it. Like I texted them.
Texted Cody and
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
And you texted
And then I got a hold of Luke. I think I finally got either from this phone or this phone and told him like, hey, I'm out here.
Like a phone call?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
And why did you, is that normal that you would?
Well, I was just telling because I think Troy or Chad told him like, yeah, we were trying to get a hold of you, and like nothing. Every time it said like the phone number cannot be completed as dialed, and I was like, okay, I'll call him and just let him know like, hey, I'm not sure what's going on with his phone.
Weird.
Yeah, because that place sometimes and the oil field in general is hit and miss as far as like, because sometimes you have like a radio tower here and there that just knocks out everything.
Okay, and you said you tried earlier that you tried to call Shanann, is that right?
I texted her at like 7:40.
Sorry, just let me see that, I'm still going. You texted her when?
7:40 in the morning.
Okay. And then, did you ever try and call her during the day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not sure what time it was. I can't get that far on my phone now.
Did that go through, that
Yeah.
call?
I did it from this phone.
And did she just not answer it,
Yeah,
or?
I just went to voicemail.
Okay, okay. And then, did you call anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Did you call the police department? Did you call, Nicole? I can't remember if you...
Oh, like from, like right after I couldn't get a hold of her?
Yeah.
So like at 12 I texted her, or I called her again, and at 12 I texted her again, like, hey, call me. And then at 12:10, that's when Nicole showed up at the house. So I got a alert saying the doorbell detected a visitor. And that's when I called her about 12:20, like, hey, what's going on? And she said that, Shanann hasn't got a hold of anybody or answered anybody for today since she got home, so.
Okay.
And then I asked her, like, I was just like looking at, she said the house or the shoes were laying next to the door and the car was still in the garage.
Is that weird, the shoes thing? Why did she bring up the shoes thing?
Well, because she could see them sitting right there.
I mean, but are they significant?
That's the ones like she was wearing, I guess, in the airport
Oh.
type thing.
Are those the ones she wears? Like
She has a couple different flip-flops that she wears, but I think those are the ones she probably wore from the airport because they were sitting next to the door.
Did you find any of her shoes missing?
She had a whole shoe closet.
You wouldn't know if there were some missing.
I mean, it goes up to the wall.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I thought I heard something, maybe you called Primrose or...
Yeah. No, I asked that. I don't remember what time that was. I asked if the kids were there.
Oh, okay. Was there any other conversation you had with them, or?
Well, I just told them, like, if that we're more than likely going to be putting the house up for sale, and that, like, I'm not sure if they're going to be, like, because we might not be in the area anymore, but I wanted the kids just back on the waiting list if we're not going to be there.
Sure. I know, like at our daycare, they charge on Mondays for the week. Is that how Primrose works, or
Yes.
how do they do it?
Yeah, because like that was gonna be their first day back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they would have charged your card or whatever, $500 or...
All right, when they showed up, yeah.
Okay, okay. So you were just giving them a heads up.
Yeah.
And did you already know that they weren't going to be there?
No, so I called them just to see like if they were there or not, because she said she was gonna take the kids to a friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay. That's why I called. Like maybe she ended up taking them there.
Oh, okay.
But no.
Okay. Any other phone calls to anyone else?
Other than Nicole, like when she showed up at the house.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can't get a hold of her, Nicole's there, and then that starts that whole process where you end up driving home. Is that right? Did you call anyone on the way home, or call anyone on the way home?
I called Luke, let him know, like, hey, I'm going home and can't find Shanann, or the kids don't know where they are. And he's okay, just doesn't need anything.
Okay. He seems like a pretty cool boss.
Yeah.
He's pretty understandable.
Yeah.
Understanding, I should say. Okay, so what, you're driving home, you're calling Luke, did you call anyone else, text anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
What route did you take to get home?
Same one, like I-76 west, and then 52 west, and then took that home.
Okay.
That's pretty much 76 to 52. That's runs right.
How big is this area, this ranch or whatever that you guys are working on?
Huge.
Like, give me like is it miles by?
I mean, we're not the only operator out there. There's like Verdad, there's Lost Creek, there's...
But your area that you're responsible for, where the wells are on, like...
So that one, as far as square mileage, like maybe 10 to 20 square miles, like as far as width goes. Like, because like, yeah, I mean, it's huge.
And that would be just your responsibility?
That's our area. That's Cody's route.
Okay.
Because we have 6 route operators, and they all have individual routes.
So what else is on this land besides...
Cattle.
Cattle?
Lots and lots of cattle and sheep.
Okay.
And lots of like little irrigation, like spots where they eat, and trees and sunflowers and lots and lots.
So like when you're driving out to the wells, is there actually a road that you guys made, or is it...
It's full. Sometimes there's a road. When the cows and everything get on it, it gets really soft and really like shake your truck type thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As far as your truck goes, obviously it's a work truck, I'm assuming. Are you allowed to have other people in your truck? Like as far as civilians, like your wife, your kids, anything like that?
They played in my truck a few times, because now it's Daddy's truck, you know, like they played in there a few times and whatnot.
What about Shanann? Has she ever ridden in your truck before?
Not to work, but she's been in it before.
Okay.
Just like, just seeing what all I had in there and everything like that, what I take to work and stuff like that. Yeah, she's been in there before.
Okay. But it's not like a regular thing?
Like, we're not really allowed to like take civilians like places in it, but other UNDARCO employees, or like when I have a trainee and stuff like that, like they ride with me.
Okay. And that's totally fine?
Yeah, definitely.
So you get home, and obviously you said you open the garage door and go through the house. Tell me all the things that seemed odd about the way the house looked.
So
it's odd.
It was, well, the car being there with the car seats, that was odd. The purse, wallet, still being there. Phone, the phone's a big thing for me, because that's still there.
She seemed like she was pretty attached to her phone.
Well, everybody knows she is. She's very attached to it.
Okay.
And kids' medicine. Those are the odd things.
What about her meds? Does she have medicine that she would take?
The only one she takes regularly is Imitrex, and that was not there. Like the medicine she had in her purse was for nausea, not Imitrex.
So what is Imitrex for?
Migraines.
And that was gone?
That was not in her purse. Like the one that they said was in her purse, they thought was Imitrex, no, it was like for nausea. Once I read it.
Okay. As far as, do you think it could have been in her luggage that she left there, or?
Not sure. It would have been in her purse.
Okay. Did you go through her luggage? Like
No.
looking for clues, or?
I didn't go through her luggage yet.
Okay.
But like her Imitrex suspects to have that, like, you know, within hand's grasp.
And you said the kids' beds were like pulled back, or how were the kids' beds?
They weren't made.
They weren't made?
No.
Okay. Is that normal?
Very normal. For the morning, yeah.
Okay.
So she's got the kid, they just like throw everything and just like get out of bed.
And what was your bed? What did it look like?
The sheets were off of it.
Okay, tell me about that.
Like most of the time when she gets out of, like when she gets home from like a flight or something, she gets into bed like from the airport, she's gonna wash the sheets the next day. So that's what I thought when I got home.
So she had woke up and...
Yeah, because she was,
stripping the bed or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Are those sheets on the bed now, or?
No, I don't think so.
Are they still in the piles or whatever, like where she put them?
I think, because I washed everything and I put different sheets on there.
So where are the sheets? Oh, you washed those sheets, did you put them away in the closet or something?
It should either be like right on the pile on the ground or something like that, right there.
In the bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay. So you washed the sheets that were on the bed, or you left them there and just put on new sheets?
So I put on, like, I washed those sheets. I washed sheets that were on there, and they should still be in the room.
Oh, clean, like,
yeah.
In a pile or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, but I put, like, ones that were in the closet in there. Ones that were already clean, like, I wanted to just make the bed anyways.
Okay, so the bed's made now?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So when you slept on the bed Monday night, it had new sheets from you changing it, or?
So Monday, yeah, like when I slept there Monday night, yeah, there was new sheets on there.
Okay, because the bed was already stripped?
Yeah.
When you got in or whatever? Yeah. Anything else that was odd? I know you said there were some things missing from the kids' rooms, or their blankets?
Yeah, the blankies.
What do you think about that?
I mean, that's what kids always take with them.
Like, even to go, like, if you...
Yeah, like, if Cece, she wants that Yankee blanket, and Bella, like, wants her blanket, especially if she feels like, you know, we tell her, like, leave it at the house now, she's getting old enough. But,
so, like, if you're going to Target or run errands, like, are they taking their stuff with them?
Bella will. Well, Cece definitely will have that Yankee blanket, and sometimes she wants her that dog that, like, makes cooing sounds and whatnot.
Okay. And that's gone, you said, right?
Yeah.
That dog?
Yeah, but Bella's cat's still there.
Was she as attached to the cat as Cece was to the dog?
Not as much.
Not as much. Okay. Anything else missing, weird? What about the pajamas that they were in, that you put them in after they showered, the nightgowns or whatever? Yeah. Are those at the house?
I didn't see those. I mean, there's dirty laundry in there from the kids.
Okay.
So, like, I didn't see those per se. I didn't see those, and then there's some nightgowns in there, but I didn't see those. Not the ones I described to you.
Okay. Okay. So obviously, you know, you've had a lot of time to think about this stuff, and just talking to me, like, what are your thoughts? Like, what are you thinking right now as far as, you know, what's happened, or...
Like the first day I thought she was with somebody. I thought, she's at a friend's house and she's just decompressing, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But like now, like after like yesterday and now today, it's I feel like she's not safe. I feel like either she is in trouble or somebody has hurt her and the kids, and we can't find them. We don't know where they are.
So if I ask you on the polygraph test if you physically caused Shanann's disappearance, can you pass that question?
Yes.
What do you think I mean by that when I'm asking you if you physically caused Shanann's disappearance? What does that mean to you?
If you ask me that, like, I feel like you're asking me, did I have anything to do with it myself, or did I help somebody do it? And I had no part in any of that.
And I know it's totally awful to think about, but what are ways, because I need to make sure that you know what I'm talking about, what are ways that you can make someone disappear?
I mean, like, if you're talking about, like, what I've seen, like, on the movies, or, like, how people, if you read about other people, I mean, you hire somebody.
Like a hitman?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just being honest.
No, but that's what I want, because I want you to go through all of these scenarios in your head, because I want you to know for sure what I'm talking about when I say that, asking you if you physically caused her disappearance.
Okay, like you'd hire somebody, or you'd have somebody that would do it. I mean, it's like, it's hard. It's a hard question to answer.
And I know this stuff.
It's a hard question to answer.
Right.
because I had nothing to do with this disappearance.
Right.
So like, I don't even want to think about like if you're asking me like how I would do it. It's like
No, anyone. Like how would
do it.
anyone cause someone else's disappearance?
I mean, you would. I said like.
You could cause someone's disappearance by murdering them. Would
Yes.
you agree with that?
Yes.
So what different physical ways could you cause someone's disappearance through murder? You could stab someone,
Stab
right?
someone, shoot someone, hit them with a blunt object. What else is there? I mean, use a weapon like gun or knife. I mean,
Okay.
you could.
You could smother someone.
Smother someone.
You could strangle someone.
Hang someone. I mean, yeah, you can. All that kind of things. I mean, it's hard to even think about that kind of stuff right now.
So you could strangle someone. You could drown someone.
Yeah.
You could shock someone to death. You could burn someone alive. What other ways can you think of?
As far as like lure them into a trap, I guess.
So what do you mean? What?
Like, you know, like have somebody waiting like around the corner and like, you know,
Sure.
an accident that happens, hit by a car, I mean, something like that.
Sure.
Like, I don't want to say the same thing there, but
You could kidnap them and take them and lock them up in a basement somewhere,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean. They could still be alive, but you
like
were.
you're like torturing. So you could, like I said, take them somewhere, torture them, and let them sit there without food or water.
Or even kidnap them and leave them somewhere that they are, you know,
Yeah.
not being tortured.
Yeah.
Just that they can't get out, and you know, obviously they've disappeared because you've not allowed them to come back into society and have people see them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. What other ways could you make someone disappear?
Poison.
Okay. Yep.
Sorry, this is.
I know.
Like, that's the thing, I've already said that.
Which one are you
Like,
using?
beat somebody, I guess, to the point,
death?
like, to the point where they're unconscious and they're in a coma.
Sure. So if I ask you that question on the test, Chris, are you going to have any issue with that? About you
Like,
physically causing
going through every single one of those?
Yeah, like that would be a way you could cause someone's disappearance.
Okay. No, I can definitely, like, I can pass, I mean,
Or you could murder them, you could kidnap them, you could take them to another country, you could, you know, bury them in your backyard, you could do a million things
yeah,
as far as trying to conceal them,
yeah,
right? So that no one can find them.
yes,
Because at this point, she's gone.
yes.
And the girls are gone. Like, we don't know where they're at, right? So we're assuming the worst but hoping the best. You know what I mean? I think that you're kind of in that spot too. So if I ask you that question, if you physically caused her disappearance, so when I say physically caused, I say it that way because I don't want you to feel, everyone has guilt, right? And I don't want you to feel like, you know what, I told her that I didn't want to be with her anymore, so I probably caused her disappearance because she obviously took off with the girls, and because of what I told her, that I didn't want to be with her anymore.
That's why I feel like a jackass right now.
Right. So when I ask you the question on the test, I'm not asking you about guilt. I'm not asking you about, did you make her feel so horrible that she ended up leaving? I'm saying that you were the one that physically caused her to disappear.
Okay.
Either by murder, kidnapping, you know, all of those other things that we went through, okay?
You want me to list all those, like?
No.
Oh,
You're just
okay.
going to say no to that question.
Okay.
Right. When I ask you if you physically caused Shanann's disappearance,
Okay.
your answer should be what?
No.
Right. So do you have any issues with that at all? And
No.
have any question about what I would mean when I was...
No, that's
asking
total,
this
like, I just, like, going through all those, that's
Right.
a lot to really think about.
Right.
Like, trying to figure out, like, that was...
It's a lot, but it's very simple.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have anything to do physically
Yeah.
with her disappearance, maybe you pissed her off to the point that she ended up taking off with the kids, or maybe she became suicidal and, you know, offed herself somewhere that we just haven't found her yet.
Like, I feel like emotionally responsible, but I didn't physically hurt her.
Exactly.
That's the kids.
Right. And that's what I want to ask you about.
Okay.
Okay? Just physically causing her disappearance.
Okay. And
You were the one directly.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you about Shanann.
Okay.
I think we can all assume that wherever Shanann is, the little girls are.
Yes.
So I'm just going to ask you about Shanann.
This just looped the kids with it, though, right?
What's that?
That's looping the kids with it, though, too. Like, everything's just kind of like... Because, like, when the FBI was asking me yesterday, he asked about the kids, but, like,
Right.
he was looping Shanann in with it, too.
Sure. So I want to know about Shanann.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you this test about Shanann.
Okay.
Okay? Like I said, obviously, as investigators, we can kind of assume that they're all together
Okay.
somewhere. But I'm going to ask you on the test about Shanann.
Okay.
Specifically. Okay. The next question I was going to ask you was, are you lying about the last time you saw her?
No.
And describe the last time that you saw her.
Last time I saw her, she was in bed after I had talked to her.
Okay. Alive?
Laying in bed, like, she just physically laid in bed.
Okay. Was she crying still? Was she saying anything? Was she...
She had just told me she was going to go to a friend's house with the kids, and she'd be back later. And that was the last time I saw her.
So describe what she looked like. Was she, like, on her back, on her side?
On her side.
On her side?
On her right side.
Could you see her face?
Yes.
Okay. What did her face look like?
She had mascara that kind of running down a little bit.
Okay. And that is...
She didn't take her makeup off before she went to bed that night.
Okay.
Obviously, because...
So to your knowledge,
that's the last time I
that is the
saw
last
her.
time you would have seen her?
Yes. And the last time I saw the kids was in the monitor as it was like...
So obviously, if someone, you know, we have to talk about worst case scenarios. You know, if for some reason you murdered her, that would not have been the last time you saw her. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay. Because obviously she's not in the house, and if she got murdered in the house, she obviously got out of the house somehow.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So at some point, the person, if they did hurt her or murder her, they would have saw her again.
Yep.
If she was laying in the bed crying, or, you know, with her
Yep.
mascara running down or whatever. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay. The last question I want to ask you is if you know where Shanann is now.
I do not.
Okay. Obviously, you know, you've talked to the police, you've helped with the missing person investigation. So this would be more like, you know, maybe Shanann did call you, you know, a couple nights ago, like, dude, just don't tell him, like, I just can't handle this right now, like, I just need to get away, like, just, you know, keep it on the down low, whatever. Maybe she told you that. Maybe if you were a person that murdered her, you obviously dumped her body somewhere or had someone else help you dump her body, you would know where that site was or where that place was. Does that make sense to you? So, again, asking you if you know where she is now.
Chris Watts didn't look like a grieving father. He looked like a man trying to remember a script. The investigator sitting across from him didn't raise her voice, didn't accuse, didn't rush. She said something simple. The results did not come back the way you hoped. And in that moment, the tone of the room changed. What followed was not immediate. There was no sudden outburst, no dramatic confession. There was pressure, carefully applied, piece by piece. He was told the evidence didn't match his story. He was told the timeline didn't hold. He was told they already knew something was wrong. And then they waited. Minutes passed. Silence filled the room. And then Chris Watts spoke. First, he didn't fully admit what happened. He offered a different version. He claimed there had been an argument. He suggested that Shanann Watts had harmed the children, and that he reacted. It was a cowardly half-truth. He admitted to being a killer, but tried to take Shanann's dignity with her life. But investigators didn't accept it, because the evidence didn't support that version. Slowly, that version began to fall apart, until finally, the truth started to emerge. He admitted that in the early hours of August 13, after Shanann Watts returned home, they had an argument, a serious one, about their relationship, about separation, about the future, and then he placed his hands around her neck. Inside their home, he ended her life. But the story didn't end there, because what happened next is what investigators and the public would struggle to understand. He placed her body in his truck, and then he brought his daughters with him, Bella Watts and Celeste Watts. They were still alive. They sat in the back seat during the drive to a remote oil site where he worked. A location isolated, quiet, far from the neighborhood they had just left. And it was there that the rest of the crime took place. He buried Shanann Watts in a shallow grave, and his daughters were placed inside oil storage tanks, openings so small that investigators later described the process as deeply disturbing. It was a detail that would stay with everyone who heard it. Within days, the case that began as a missing persons investigation had become a confirmed multiple homicide. Chris Watts was arrested, charged, and eventually, he pleaded guilty. In November 2018, he was sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole. No trial, no prolonged courtroom battle, just a conclusion, delivered quickly. But even with that, the case didn't feel finished. Because for many, the question was never just what happened. It was why. Why would someone choose this? Why would a father, a husband, take the lives of his own family? Investigators pointed to several factors: the affair, the desire for a new life, financial pressure, emotional distance. But for those who followed the case, those explanations felt incomplete. Because on the surface, nothing looked extreme. No history of violence. No obvious warning signs. Just a gradual change that led to something irreversible. And that's what makes this case difficult to process. Not just the crime itself, but how ordinary everything seemed, right up until the moment it wasn't. So what do you think? Was this something that had been building over time, or a decision made in a single moment? Were there signs that could have been seen earlier? Or was everything hidden until it was too late? Share your thoughts in the comments, like and share, because cases like this don't just leave behind answers. They leave behind questions that people are still trying to understand. And if this story stayed with you, there are others where the truth is even harder to explain. Stories where the answers are still unknown.